Oh my gosh, geniuses! Karen Zahedia is back, right? But this time she's going to cover what happens after you get the lead machine pumping in names and emails into your system. What do you do then? You better listen in. Enjoy it! Welcome to Digital Genius Radio, the #1 podcast focused on guiding you to becoming a certified digital genius. We believe you can have it all by mastering social media paid advertising. We spent the last 3 years studying the most brilliant marketers today and applying their techniques. We've broken free of the 9-to-5 and successfully built a 7-figure online certification platform. From working with hundreds of clients, we found that most are overwhelmed or scared to actually dive into paid advertising. And this podcast is here to give you the cheat codes so you can flourish with your social media channels. Join us and follow along as we continue to learn, apply, and share proven strategies, as well as give you the insights on how to win online with social media paid advertising. And now, here's your hosts, Chris Baden and Sean Malone.
What do you do when you finally crack this thing and you're actually getting leads in? Then what? Some of us just panic. We're like, it's working. How did that happen? How do you scale that? And this is a place where I see a lot of people who are like, I got some leads trickling in. I did some testing and it's working. But every time I try to touch it or change something, it just kind of stops working or it breaks. So I just want to share with you what's working right now. And totally admittedly, this is different than what was working 6 months ago. So I'm just sharing you all the latest stuff that's working. So scaling, the thing used to be scale 15%, 10%, small increments every day. If you're really aggressive, maybe every few days. But the very, very latest thing that we are seeing is that you can actually, and we ran some side-by-side tests where we said, okay, these ad sets, everything else is the same, but we're going to scale these 15% every few days. We're going to scale this one 100%, and we're going to sell this one 50%. We ran this test over and over and over again. And the one that we scaled 100% worked every time, left the rest of the dust. I know. It's crazy. And it's really, really good news, right? Because you start an ad set, let's say at $5 or $10 or $20, it feels like it takes forever to start getting it up and getting you as many leads as you really want. So the ability to scale like this is really, really incredible. Now, what happens when you sometimes scale is your cost per lead goes up the very next day. And you're like, God, I broke it. What did I do? Every day, like the sky is falling. It's not. One of the hardest things to do as a Facebook ads marketer, even now for me, is to stop touching things, right? There are so many buttons and they all want to be pressed. No. So get this thing working, scale it 100%, and go to dinner, have a drink, hang out with your friends, stop looking at it, okay? And let it regain its momentum. Because what you've done, there's this algorithm, right? And in my head, the algorithm is like this living, breathing thing that we have to be really nice to. And so there's this algorithm, you throw it for a loop. None of us are really all that great with change. And the algorithm isn't either. And it's like, whoa, what do you want from me? And then if you give it a little bit of time, a little bit of love, sweet talk it a little bit, just don't touch the buttons, it usually will come back. And it may not come back exactly at the same cost per lead, but usually within that range. I was just talking to somebody earlier who it took 8 days because I think her CPL doubled, took 8 days, but went right back where it was. So the window I usually leave for that, definitely a week. But after a week, even I start to like, I'm getting a little antsy. And of course, it depends on your ad spend, how much you're spending a day, how fast you're getting that information in. But up to 2 weeks, it can take a little while to get back on its feet, but super worth it, right? All right. I make sure that you guys are with me. This is making sense. Everything making sense so far?
Yeah, guys, if this is fire, right, fire in the chat roll right now, because I know I took all kinds of notes, and that's crazy. You can double your ad spend and get the cost per lead to come back to normal. Like, that's a super secret. I don't think anyone knows. That's the first time I've ever heard that. That's awesome. Thank you, Karen.
It's really counterintuitive and really, really new. It still makes me nervous every time I do it, but we've seen very few ad sets break from this. So, yeah, hopefully that keeps working. Okay, I like part of my goal here is because like Brittany's giving you fire and Jenna's giving you fire, and I'm trying to tell you all these things to try, and it can be a little overwhelming at times. Who here, like, type in the chat, type like OMG if you're just feeling overwhelmed at all the information, all the things you're supposed to implement, all the things you're supposed to test. There's copy, there's creative, there's, oh my gosh, all the things. And how the heck are you supposed to test all of these things and keep an eye on all of it and manually like increase bids and decrease the stuff that's not working, even know what's working and not working? I want to make your life way, way easier. So again, super counterintuitive because I want to push all the buttons, right? But have you guys heard about campaign budget optimization, CBO for short?
So we have, I don't know how many people have, but we just barely heard of the term like about a week ago. So yeah, talk about, I think that's,
love to hear about
love to hear about that from you. Yes. This is going to revolutionize Facebook. I just want to share that. Like Karen, listen to this part. This is like, listen up. Like this is going to be really important. Go ahead, Karen.
So it is super, super, super new. So the fact that you guys have heard about it already, you're like right at the forefront of this stuff. In a few months, Facebook is going to actually force this change on us, all of us, okay? They're going to take away the ability to manage your budget at the ad set level, and they're going to move all of that to the campaign level, okay? So what does that mean? The first thing it meant for me is I just totally freaked out. I was like, wow, what? But that's how I do all the things and the testing, and I like to hit the buttons. But got over that, started testing it, and look, that's the thing. If you're going to run your business using paid traffic in Facebook, you have to be adaptable, right? The platform's going to keep changing. And at first, every change seems like a bad change, but it's not, because Facebook needs you to make money on Facebook to stay alive. They want you to make money on Facebook, okay? And they want to protect the user experience. Because if they don't protect the user experience, guess who can't make money on Facebook? You guys can't, and neither can Facebook. So it's usually a good thing. Where was I? Campaign budget optimization. So let Facebook do all the heavy lifting for you. Yeah, you guys can get like, I think I got like 3 hours a day back in my life with campaign budget optimization. Because before, if we're testing multiple audiences, so let's even say that let's say you're running, somebody type in the chat your avatar. I don't care what kind of avatar it is, just type in the chat your avatar. And we'll use that as an example. Okay. All right. Travel. So travelers, I'll pick that one. There are all kinds of different travelers, right? There are leisure travelers, there are business travelers, there are frequent travelers, there's every once in a while travelers, there's travelers who travel with kids, there's travelers who don't travel with kids, there are honeymooners, lots of options, right? So you could split every single one of those types of people into a different audience, into a different ad set. On top of that, I know you guys have heard about different types of audiences. So there are lookalike audiences, there are lifetime value lookalike, all these different options. You could take just leisure travelers alone and make like 3 or 5 different audiences. And that's the kind of thing that starts to make you crazy. So what campaign budget optimization does is you pick, let's say, 5 audiences that you want to test. And you put those 5 audiences into ad sets. And then you pick your ad, you put your ad in, and you put the same, maybe you're testing 3 different ads, and you put those 3 different ads into those different ad sets, and you do that one time. And then instead of every few hours looking and being like, oh, I need to scale this one up, I need to scale this one down, I need to change this one, you let Facebook do all of that while you live your life. Because Facebook decides for you which ad sets are going to work the best. And again, you're like, how does Facebook know? Maybe I don't want to trust Facebook, but I can tell you after spending thousands and thousands of dollars on this, that it is pretty much working without fail right now for us. And I'll give you an example of an account we're working on right now. We're doing 13 different audiences. So that's 13 different ad sets. And on top of that, we're doing, 11 to 20 different ads in each ad set. So that's like, I think we're running over 170 ads in total in this campaign. Massive. Gives me a migraine. But I don't have to worry so much about, let me look at the click-through rate, let me look at the conversion rate, all I'm looking at is cost per lead. That's it. If the cost per lead is not there, it gets cut. But Facebook's deciding everything else. Facebook's deciding where it allocates more of the budget. Okay? So start using it, because it's going to become a requirement anyway. Start using it and start testing it, and definitely see what you think. Okay.
Hey, Karen, I just want to interlude. For all the VIPs, there's a VIP after party. Karen, would you be willing to walk us through setting up a CBO?
Yeah, I can do it. Or at least I'll walk you through one that we've set up, because I don't want to take too much time. But yeah, we'll definitely go over it in more detail. All right. Let's see. Making sure I'm okay on time and questions and that sort of thing. Okay. So the other thing I want to tell you about, and just give you guys a heads up on, you're probably seeing this in some of your accounts, is relevance score. Have you guys seen some changes happening in your accounts? Have you guys already talked about this? Okay, all right. So I'm going to talk to you about it a little bit, and tell you why this change is, I think, a really, really good and welcome change. So the caveat before I say anything else about relevance score is that if your cost per lead is where you want it, just don't even worry about it. Doesn't matter. Most of your metrics don't matter if your cost per lead is where you want it to be. And I get a lot of people who go trying to fix relevance score, or go trying to fix CTR link clicks, and they break the cost per lead because they're going after the wrong thing. So cost per lead's there, don't touch it. However, relevance score used to be this thing, like it's scored 1 through 10, right? And you're always trying to get the 10, the really coveted 10, that tells you that this ad is relevant to the audience I'm serving it up to. Now, the problem is that relevance score is like the garbage pail of all metrics. It's actually a bunch of metrics all slammed up together to make a relevance score, which to me makes it meaningless, virtually meaningless, because I look at it and I'm like, well, okay, my relevance score is low, but why? Is it because of this or because of that? And I have no idea. And I don't know, for those of you who've been running ads for a while, there used to be metrics called positive and negative feedback, right? I used to love that thing because it could tell me a little bit more directionally, and positive and negative feedback feed into relevance score. So I was like, oh, relevance score is low, and I can see that it's because I have high negative feedback and low positive feedback. I know what to do about that. But then they took away positive and negative feedback, and we all groaned a bit, and then we didn't know what to do with relevance score. So relevance score is on April 30th being replaced by 3 new metrics. So the first new metric is quality ranking. Quality ranking, and all of these, the caveat here is all of these are estimates. And when this first rolls out, like any new thing that Facebook rolls out, it's a little clunky, it's a little rusty. I don't know if you can quite trust it, but Facebook is a machine. So the more information it gets, the more people running ads, the more data, these things get really accurate and really sharp. So take it with a grain of salt at first and watch it get better. But quality ranking tells you how the quality of your ad compares to other people's ads who are competing for your same audience. So if you've got, some bad copy or a bad image or something like that, this is going to kind of tell you like, the quality of this ad is just really not quite there. So you might want to revisit your copy so you know what to do about that. Now, your engagement rate is the second metric that's replacing relevance score. So your engagement rate is how likely are people to engage with your ad versus other people's ads who are competing with the same audience. And so and these get ranked as below average, average, above average. So in words that are easy to interpret. But if your engagement rate is super low, then you might think about your call to action. Is your call to action strong enough? Are you being interesting enough? Or do you just sound like really dry and they're kind of like, oh yeah, good to know. Are you really compelling them to take action? And then the last one is conversion rate. And I'm super happy to see this because for the longest time, Facebook seemed like all it cared about was your click-through rate. So if you guys ran ever in one audience, ran 2 or 3 or maybe 6 even different ads, even if you just ran 2 different ads, sometimes what you see is Facebook really quickly goes, oh, I pick a winner, and they only feed out the ad that Facebook likes, and the other ad just kind of sits there and it's sort of stalled out, and you don't really get any good data on it, right? So, and you look over at the click-through column, the CTR link clicks column of data, and you're like, oh, Facebook keeps picking the one that people are clicking on. I'm still not really getting leads, so I'm not happy. So what we've seen really, really consistently over the last little bit is that Facebook is starting to really show that they're favoring conversions, not just clicks. And so some of you guys might be seeing this your ad account where you're like, whoa, I have a really low click-through rate. It's kind of embarrassing. I don't know what I could have done better. But wow, the cost per lead on that's not too bad. Meanwhile, I've got this great click-through rate over here, and the cost per lead is not really all that hot. Why is that? So the reason that is because if you have 10 people click and one person becomes a lead, okay, that's not bad at all, right? But if you have 100 people click and only 3 people become a lead, that's not really good. Like the majority of people who are clicking are not interested in taking your offer. So it tells Facebook that this offer is not really on target, and they stop feeding it out quite as much. So we are seeing Facebook actually care about how many people are converting.
Where can all these people follow you?
And where can you find me? I've committed to up my Instagram game. So you guys can find me at Karen Sahadia on Instagram.
Thanks for listening to Digital Genius Radio. We'd love it if you could share our podcast with 3 others that you think could get some value from it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And remember, hit that notifications button so we can alert you for each new episode that comes out. You're on your way. You've gained knowledge and you've gotten smarter. You're becoming a certified digital genius. To continue on the right path, go to challenge.digitalgeniusradio.com and prove you have what it takes. Again, that's challenge.digitalgeniusradio.com. Enter your name and email and get started becoming a master of your own destiny.